Then from next class onwards, we'll start with the fourth unit. That is a numerical part. Everyone has to attend the class. Hardly half of the class is attending. Just inform all others. So everyone has to attend. This is the only one numerical part we have in this project management, or rest all everything is theoretical only. Okay. So what you are doing in your OR now? Which unit you are doing? Okay, no
Sequencing
problem.
completed, ma'am.
Sequencing and doing.
So this comes for your OR also, PERT and CPM. There you are studying in detail about this. But here you will be learning a few of the numericals along with the theory part, the scheduling techniques and all you will be learning. So from Thursday onwards, I'll start with this unit. In detail we will study. So this is the benefit for you if you're doing one unit. This holds good in PM also as well as in your OR also, and these are very simple numericals. I'll give you the detailed thing we can do it, but only thing is I cannot write on the board. I will try to solve on a paper and I'll show you. Okay, that we can follow. And one more thing, after your Deepavali or something, we need to conduct one expert talk. So for that, I will give you the schedule, when is the schedule and all, who is the resource person for that. Everyone must, you should attend that the expert talk. Okay. I'll let you know who will be the resource person. So in all other subjects also you will be having. So okay. 18 have joined. Okay, we'll start with that thing. I'll make my screen total to the full screen so that I will not be able to see your chat box or something. If I'm going in between because of a network problem, if it is got off, then you should either send me a message or call me. Okay. Yeah. So what are the 3 R's of a contracting we were discussing yesterday? The first R was a responsibility, and the second R was the reimbursement. What are the different methods of reimbursements we have studied yesterday? And the one more important factor, that is R factor, is the risk factor associated with a contractor, even with the owner. Both are equally having the risk factor associated when you are giving the contract for the contractors. Both are equally this thing. So which are the things you need to go? Just I'll make it a little bigger. You are able to read it? You are able to read?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No. I'll make it full screen so that. Now you can read the screen? Yes? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Identification of a risk. You are able to read the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Just I have taken a screenshot from the book itself. Okay, identification of a risk. So let us identify the risk which either the owner or the contractor has to face during the phase of contracting. So what are these risks associated with that particular work or the activity or the event? Will the contractor be able to carry out the work as per the specifications, even though after tendering, after bidding, you're calling, you're finalizing the contractors, but still then you will be having the factor of risk with regards to whether the contractor will be able to complete his total total work according to the specification what you have mentioned in your tenders. That risk is there with the owner. Can the work can be completed with the quoted cost? Yeah, this the contractor is having. So whatever I have quoted, so whether I'll be able to complete the work within the quote what I have quoted, or it may go extra after finalizing the bids with the owners of the project. So these are the risk factors which are associated with the project when you are taking a contract, or when the owner is giving the contract. So these will be there even after finalizing all the details. Will the plan perform the required level? So whatever, will the plant perform at the required level? Yes. So that risk is there always. So even though you are dividing the work, you are planning that execution. During the execution, you need to coordinate and communicate and get it done, whatever you have planned. Will the contractor stay on job till the completion of the work? Sometimes even we are seeing the contractor lives in between itself. Maybe maybe there may be any other reason for that. So in that case, you need to call again the tenders, you need to finalize the contractor. Again, the same procedure will be repeated. That risk is also there. Will the contractor will be able to complete the work which is assigned to him? That risk is there. Will the contractor adhere to the time schedule? Yes, of course, he has agreed to the time schedule. Within the time schedule, he has to complete all other work. Will the contractor meet the owner's requirements if they are changed at the later date? Yes. So while finalizing the contract, the specification or the quotations were different. Maybe it has taken a long time or something. The change in design or change in a cost and all, the owner will be able to agree for that. That risk factor is there along with the contractor. Will the contractor leave behind liability for the owner to deal with within the regard to his staff of the third parties? Will the contractor rectify the defects discovered after he leaves the scene? He has completed, he has handed over everything. If there are any maintenance problems or a service problem, service issues and all, whether the contractor is able to address those issues or not, that also need to be discussed. That risk is also there along with the contractors. If the relationship does not click between the owner and the contractor, what can happen? So that may be there. So the contractor similarly is also not certain about many things. In particular, he carries the following risk in relation to the owner and could seek the protection against the same in the contract. So both the owners are also not secured while assigning the contract, and even the contractor is also not secured after taking the contract. So will the owner terminate his work before completion of the same? Because he may not be satisfying the things of a owner. The owner have a rights to terminate. That risk factor is associated, is aligned with that contract. Will the owner make the payments promptly? So as you have discussed, is owner is making a prompt payments or no, in-time payments or no. So all these are the risk associated with while finalizing the contractor, as well as when you are taking the contract from the owner. So these are the three main factors of R. Which are those? Responsibility, reimbursement, and the risk. The last factor is also very important, that is the risk factor. So these three things need to be discussed in detail before finalizing any of the contractors. So then the work of the project will go smoothly. Is it clear? So this is an important question also for your exam. What is tendering or what is contracting? What are the 3 R's? What are the 3 R's of a contracting that you need to explain there? Responsibility, risk, and the reimbursement. So that thing you need to follow. So the next one is, one second. Okay. Will there be any hold up on a imposed idleness of him, or will the owner carry the certain minimum obligations regarding his work? Will the owner charge the scope of work upsetting? So there are so many. Will the owner punish because of the failure of the contract control over that? Will the plant or the equipment will be taken over when it is ready? Will the owner honor the extra claims? Will there be any difference in interpretation of his scope and responsibilities with the owners? Can he makes the profit? So yes, of course, you have finalized everything after. So what is the ultimate thing is whether you are able to make a profit out of this contract or no. So all these are the factors which are associated with the contractors. What we have discussed, that is 1 to 12 are with the owners and 1 to 15 are with the risk factors associated with the contractors. So for that, we are doing a GCC. What is this GCC? Is general conditions of contractor. So in this, we are giving the different claims or the clauses we are giving with respect to all that, the difference or the risk or the responsibility, what it is associated with, to ensure the parties entering into the contract are appropriately protected, to protect the contractors which are entering into the project. So there are many have defined so many clauses. One is the one among that one is the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, that is IME. UK has developed such forms for various types of works which have international acceptance. So the IME has defined or given so many clauses to protect the contractors against the difference of opinions. So along with IME, you have the other institutions also, the Institution of Electrical Engineers. This is for mechanical engineers. The Institution of Electrical Engineer for electrical contractors you have, and Association of Consulting Engineers, ACE, also you have. For in an Indian National Association of Consultancy of Engineering, that ACE for Indian nations, you have, they have defined so many clauses to protect the contractors against any of the risk associated with the contractors. So the first clause is definition of terms. This clause is supposed to remove the communication gap of the parties may have in the interpretation of certain terms used for drafting the contracts. There are so many formats you need to follow. So this first clause gives the details about the communication gap between the parties, between the owner and the contractors, between these two parties, so that everything will be put in a correct format, so that even after finalizing the contracts, you will not have any difference of opinion. So the clause 2 is a contractor to inform himself fully. This clause is included to ensure that the contractor has examined the relevant data before bidding. So there are so many signatures you will be doing, even when you're just filling the forms and all, self-attestation and such kind of things. Before finalizing the contractors, you need to go through, you need to mention clearly, you need to mention very clearly in finalizing the contracts, you need to give it in the form of written format, mentioning which one you are following, whether you are following IME, Institution of Mechanical Engineers, of international standards you are following, or the Indian Nations Association of Consulting Engineers, that NACE you are following. So according to that, you need to mention the clauses. The number of clauses are given over here. So many number of clauses are given over here. You need to mention the clauses in the written format according to which clause you are finalizing your contract. Okay. The third clause is security for due performance. This clause enables the owner to obtain the security deposit or the bank guarantee not to exceed 15% of the contract price at the start of work as an insurance for the fulfill of performance of the contracts. So there are n number of clauses are available. You need to follow all these clauses and find out. I'll give you some more clauses. Just wait for a minute. One second. Wait for 2 minutes. I'll give you the things detailed. Okay, there are other different clauses are there. Just I'll read out. I have not taken the n number of clauses are there. Only in NACE itself, around 50 clauses are there. When I will be giving you the notes, you can just go through that clauses. So the fifth clause is about the drawings. This clause specifies the drawings and the time by which these have to be submitted for contractors to the owners for his review, approval, or information. And the sixth clause is about the mistakes in information. And the seventh clause is regarding the assignment. This clause prevents the parting of responsibility by the contractors without the owner's written approval. So the eighth clause is about the sublettering, and the ninth clause is about patent rights. This is an important clause need to be mentioned. That is clause number 9, patent rights. So in this clause insulates the owner as also the contractor against any infringement of the patent rights of the third party by either of the parties. The clause 10 will give you about the manner of execution of the contract. Clause number 11 gives the contractors, equipments, the labor and all. Clause number 10 gives about the electricity, water and the gas. So like this, there are so many other clauses. It need to be mentioned with what clause you are finalizing the drawings or the supply or the machinery or the assignment or the patent rights or the electric work. So you need to mention over there very clearly in your written format, so that will move your project very smoothly and you will be able to complete within a time. If these clauses are not mentioned, then the conflict may arise during the payment or during the measurement or during in progress of the work and all. So the clauses are very, very important, which is given by the general conditions of the contractors, that is GCC, general conditions of the contractors. So the different institutions will give the different clauses. One institution, that is the Institution of Mechanical Engineers, and the Institution of Electrical Engineers, and the Association of Consulting Engineers, or if it is an Indian Nations Association of Consulting Engineers. So you need to follow all these rules and regulations when you are doing the contracts. Is it clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I move on to the, yes? So there are n number of clauses. I don't want to discuss what that clause is. What are the general conditions you need to follow when you are signing, when you are assigning the contracts. So like this, different firms or the different institutions, the different standards will be there. You need to write down that clause. According to this clause, we have finalized the things. That means you are referring to one standard. You are referring to one standard and finalizing the things. In case if there is any conflicts between two parties, that clause will be referred and you can make the things clear then and there itself. So that is the meaning of the general conditions of the contractors. Here we are following the different clauses for finalizing the contractors. So next one, we will move on to what is tendering and what is the procedure we need to follow for the selection of the tenders. Just I'll present my screen. Okay, I have skipped that slide, I think so. Okay. What is tendering and what is the procedure for selection of a tenderings? So according to the GCC, what is GCC now? Have you understood? So the tendering selection need to be done according to the GCC, general conditions of the contractors. General condition of a contractors based on again different clauses. So you need to finalize along with referring to the GCC, and the contract digital modes or through the government publications and all, you will be calling the tenders. And as I mentioned you, one date of opening of a tenders will be given. Whoever has applied for the tenders, all will be present in front of them. Tenders will be opened and the tenders will be finalized. What is the selection procedure you need to follow? You are able to read whatever I am showing in a presentation? You are able to read it from the slide? Are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
You are able to read?
No,
I'll
ma'am.
explain, no problem. I'll read and explain. Okay. So for the selection of contractors, you need to follow some procedure. What is the first step you need to follow is pre-qualification of a contractors. That is the first step. The second step is preparation of a tender documents and the receipt of tenders. The last is evaluation of the tenders. How you are going to finalize? Then only you are going to do the agreement between the owner and the contractors. So how the selection procedure goes? So there are different steps you need to follow. For that, first is pre-qualification. You are able to read it from the slide, I think so. Pre-qualification of the contractors. That is the first step. The second step is preparation of tender documents. The third step is receipt of tenders. The next is evaluation of tenders. And then there will be an agreement. Then form of guarantee will be signed from both the parties. From both the parties, then later it will be signed. What you are going to do in the pre-qualification of a contractors? So you are going to collect the similar work experience of a contract earlier. That means you are going to collect his short history, what is his performance in other different works which he has taken earlier. So that performance will be evaluated. The performance of the contractor will be evaluated before assigning the work to him. His past turnover, what is the turnover? How much turnover he has done through the contracting. Based on that also you are going to measure the performance of the contractor. And he has the necessary infrastructure, whether he has got required infrastructure is there with him or no. That need to be checked, and his credibility in terms of his associates and associations with other agencies, including the foreign agencies, job performance, and the relationship with the customers and the other sources. So in the pre-qualification of the contractors, what the owner is going to do is he is going to find out his performance, the contractor performance, his turnover, and his timely completion, and the facilities, what infrastructure facilities are there with him, and his credibility in terms of his association with the projects and all, that the owner is going to evaluate the contractor in the very first step of the selection of the contractor. That is pre-qualification of the contractor. It is as good as you are applying for a job. What the recruiter is going to go through your resumes and all is your qualification, your experience, in which areas you have worked, what are the other activities you are involved into, like this. Even during the selection of a contractor also, the pre-qualification of the contractor will be evaluated with respect to his performance in the other projects, what is his turnover, and what is the infrastructure, what is the facility he is having, and what, so like this, the owner is going qualification of the contractor. The second step is preparation of tender documents. You can see here down, preparation of a tender documents. So for tender documents preparation and all, what all the documents are required is letter of invitation of tenders. So that means you are invited the tender through the newspaper or through some other media or through the government newsletters and all, whether you have done that or not. So that document you need to have with you, letter of invitation of a tender. Then instruction to the tenders, general conditions. I think so it is not clear. Okay. Just I'll read out. A letter of invitation to the tenders, instructions to the tenders, general conditions of the contractors, technical specifications of the project which you are assigning for, special conditions of the contractor and the scope of the drawings, bill of quantities, general information about the site and form of tenders. All these documents you need to maintain in the second step of selection of the contractor, preparation of tender documents. What all the documents is required from your side? Very first thing is letter of invitation of a tenders. Without that, you cannot finalize the tenders at all. That need to be followed. Letter of invitation. So then price what you are quoting, the program what you are following, the terms of payments, conditions of the contract and the contract price adjustments and the validity of contract. So you are giving him the contract for, if it is supply of a raw material to that industry or something, what is the validity, for how long he will be valid as a contractor. So that all the details, all these details of documents should be there. You need to prepare in the second step of selection of the tenders. Then the third step is the receipt of tenders. Then you are going to get the tenders receipt. That the next step will be evaluation of the tenders. You are going to evaluate with a technical, commercial, contractual basis, the managerial angles. So again there are so many clauses as a price wise, as a technology wise, as a time wise. So then as a commercial, so as a infrastructure, all these will be, a tender evaluation will be done. Then you are going to go for agreement between the thing. So the agreement will be done between the two parties, that is a contractor and the owner. Then form of guarantee will be signed from both the parties. Then you are assigned a work to the contractor. So this is the brief procedure or the brief steps you need to follow for finalizing the contracts. Okay. Any doubts? This is actually the vast thing. So just they have briefed about, so just to give an idea about how the selection of contractors will be done. On that basis, it will be just a summary of the contractors, how they will be finalized. Any doubts? I think so it is time up. Anything you want to discuss? So this concludes my third class, third unit. This I have done with my third unit. The fourth unit will be your PERT and CPM. That I will start from Thursday's class. What is bar chart? what is Gantt chart, what are the scheduling techniques, how you need to draw the bar chart, how you need to break down the work with a project. Then we'll start with PERT and CPM. So that we will do it in the next class, right? Just tell your all other friends to attend the class, 4th class, so that you will be benefited for 2 subjects. If you are doing that one question in both the subjects, you will be getting the marks. Okay, but the way of asking the questions might be different, but the concept of PERT and CPM remains the same. Okay. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So in the 3rd unit, mainly we have studied about the different types of organizations, different types of the organization, and the last part was your contractors. What is contracting? What are the 3 R's of a contracting? And what is tendering? And what is the procedure of selection of tenders? Procedure of selection of tenders, you need to evaluate the pre-qualification of a contractors. Then you need to have the list of documents for the selection of the tenders. Then you will get the tenders, the bidding will be sent by the contractors. Then you are going to evaluate these tenders. Then the agreement will be then you are going to sign the form of guarantee for that work between both the parties. So that is just the brief of tendering. No doubts, no? Okay. Shall I conclude my today's class? So next class I will be doing, starting my 4th unit. Okay, I'll put all the, this PPT also will be available on your Google Classroom along with whatever the classes I have taken, that I will put at once of the 3rd. Okay. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.